In this video, we're gonna be talking about how you can grow an audience if you are starting from zero. I'm gonna give you my personal experience on how I was able to do it and get all the way to 120,000 subscribers on YouTube. And I'm gonna show you how you can do it as well. Now, before we go ahead and get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and let's go ahead and dive in. So the first question that people might have is like, what's the point of even growing an audience? We have to understand your why, because if you're not clear on why you are growing an audience, then why should you even do it? You probably shouldn't, right? For most people, especially if you're watching this video, growing an audience is powerful because it lets people know who you are. It builds your brand. And then if you are offering a product and service, because people trust you and they watch your videos, you're able to sell to them much more effectively compared to if you were to reach out to them cold. I would say it's extremely powerful because even for me, I have a YouTube channel and I have a Twitter account with tens of thousands of followers talking about NFTs. When people get on the phone with me, they feel like, oh my God, Patrick's a celebrity. I want to work with him, right? It's very easy to sell because they know who I am. They trust me. There's credibility. And all I have to do is just make a good offer and then deal is closed, right? So for you guys, if you are selling anything, having a brand, even if it's a niche brand, if the right people watch you, that's really all it takes. If we look at, let's say like Gary Vee, for example, right? He's many different businesses, but his main one is his marketing agency because he talks about marketing and sales, how to do paid advertising on his main channel. People or brands want to work with him. He says, hey, you want to work with me? Come to my agency, right? And so it's all this inbound coming in and he just has to have salespeople, business development people get on the phone. Gary Vee already did all the heavy lifting for them and then they just have to close the deal, right? So the name of the game is pretty much the same. And then if you can get on all platforms, it's going to be much better. If you have zero followers, how do you get started? How do you make sure you don't get discouraged? The first thing is you got to pick a platform that you can natively create content on. Everybody has different skills. For me, I'm pretty good when it comes to talking on camera. So obviously YouTube is going to be one of my main platforms. And then what I do is I take my YouTube content, create shorts, put it on TikTok, put it on Instagram, put it everywhere, right? But YouTube is the main one because I feel like, for long form content, I'm not bad at it. So that's the route for me. Now, if you're not good on video, then you got to take a different route, whether it's going to be Twitter, writing, doing blogs, doing newsletters, whatever it is that you are good at, or maybe if it's just audio podcast, that also works as well. You got to find the route that works for you. Now, in the beginning, when you're creating content and you pick your medium of choice, all it really is in the beginning is creating content in your niche that you think that your audience will find valuable. So for me, what I do on YouTube is I look for keywords. I look for what do people want to know? For example, a lot of people want to know how to write a cold email, right? And so when I look at that and I see that, a lot of people are searching for this, I'll make a video about how to write a cold email. If you type in cold email on YouTube, you're gonna find me because I made these videos specifically for people who have a problem and I basically solve it. So the utility way to create content is look at what people want to learn, create content that solves their problem. And if you're able to do that, of course, people will watch you because you directly solve their problem. Now, the challenging part is that in the beginning, when you're putting out content, nobody sees it. So when I was doing YouTube, that first year was pretty rough because I would just put out a video, it would get like 50 views, put out another video, it would get 40 views, and I would just keep doing that over and over and over. So like for the first year, all the views I got was probably like 50,000 views for like the whole entire year. I can get that amount of views in just a couple days of like doing nothing because my channel is already larger now. 1 year of work in the beginning in terms of views was the equivalent to, let's say, like a couple days now doing nothing. Now, of course, I built that brand over the year and then it snowballed and now we're growing much faster than we were before. But in the beginning, it's all about building that brand, building that trust. Sometimes if you're going to start slow, especially if you're not doing anything super viral, like doing a dance or playing video games or talking about drama, it's harder to grow. That's the name of the game. If you want to do something different, you have to go through the things that people aren't willing to do. Now, if you want to make great content, I would say some of the key elements are, number one, what is your thumbnail and title? That's probably the most important because the title actually determines what you're going to be talking about in that video. If people don't click, then they're not going to go in the video. So titles are very important. Look at your competition, look at what people are searching, what's going viral in your particular niche or what gets more views. Now, for me, I look at people's titles. I basically have a pool of ideas and I'll be like, okay, well, that's an interesting topic that I'm also familiar with. So let me go ahead and try that and give it my spin. So that's how you pick your topics. The thumbnail is very important. So you got to study thumbnails. What works? Do you have to do a face like this? Like how does that work? And you A/B test different things. I'm not going to go too much into the science of it, but study thumbnails is going to be extremely important. Now, after people click, there's a thumbnail, there's a title. Now, what is actually in the video? What I like to do is I'd like to come up with a couple points. It's usually 3 to 5 points. And it's just like, what's the problem? What's the solution? What's the problem? What's the solution? And then within that, I like to throw in stories of how how I was able to solve my problem with this solution and how I'm able to show it to you guys, right? So I can say, like, in the beginning of this video, I said, hey, when I started doing YouTube, I would put a video and it would only get 50 views. That's a story. That's the problem that a lot of people face. Then I say, okay, how did I solve that problem? I just kept making videos for a whole year, and that's the solution, right? So problem, solution, story, that will definitely make your content significantly better than just talking bullet points or something like that. Even worse, like copying other people's videos without giving your own personality or story. Don't do that. You want to be original. Being original is very important because people can see it. Another question people might have is like, how do you get more people to see your stuff? You need to understand how algorithms work, how to feed it the right data so it promotes your videos. If you watch videos with Mr. Beast or any other YouTube content creator, it's actually not even a mystery. Everybody knows what the ingredients are. It's just hard to piece together, right? So it's simple, but difficult. If you want to feed the YouTube algorithm, here's the master secret that you need to know. Number one, what's your click-through rate? What percent of people are clicking your video when you see it? The higher the click-through rate, the better. Number two, how long are they watching? Are they watching half of the video, the full video? You're at 100% of it, 75%. So you just want to keep increasing your watch time and percentage viewed as much as possible. YouTube basically says, everybody's clicking this video, everybody's watching it all the way through, it must be good. So they're going to recommend it to everyone essentially, right? And everything else you don't even have to worry about. If you're making a video that everybody clicks and everybody watches, that's going to really get you there. Forget how many likes you get, forget the comments and things like that. That itself is like pretty key. Another problem that people have is a lot of creators will keep grinding. Maybe they'll be like, oh my God, I've been doing YouTube for years and years and years, and I only have 100 subs. I totally understand that sentiment. I've created vlogs in the past that I deleted. I got a little bit of traction, but we didn't really get anywhere. So should you give up? Should you keep going? What should you do if you're not getting traction? I would personally say if you really want to do YouTube, for example, and you're not getting traction, the key is to adjust what you do until you find success. So if you're doing the same type of videos, the same type of vlogs, before I was doing travel vlogs, just going around Thailand and just recording myself, and it was pretty cool, but it wasn't something that would go viral or anything. So if I stuck with that route, I would have to change my direction. I would have to look at what other people are doing, take some inspiration, apply it to myself, A/B test different ideas. So don't grind. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over thinking you'll get a better result. Switch it up. Try different keywords. Try different topic ideas. Just try something different in order to see if something works or not. If you study Mr. Beast, he's been doing YouTube for so long, since he was like a teenager. For a long time, he was not getting any traction, but he just kept trying different things. He said that he was in like these, small communities on Reddit or something like that. They would just talk about YouTube every single day, different thumbnails, different titles, different ideas. And then eventually, because he just kept developing that skill, kept trying different things, he was able to kind of unlock himself and really figure out what worked. So for yourself, you need to figure out what's going to work for you, what's going to work for your audience, and just keep trying things until something sticks, right? Please just don't do the same thing over and over expecting different results. Okay, so next tip I have for you, it's all about doubling down. So when you're creating content, you're at zero, there are going to be instances or spikes in your views where something is working a little bit better than something else. When something starts working, do it again and then create more variations of that idea. So for example, I remember one of the topics that took off for me was business development, right? So I made a video about what is the business development, because I'm in sales and those are things I understand. And then it just took off. People were searching it, they were finding it, they were watching it. And I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Let me make another video about business development, but have a different angle to it, like lead generation for business development or something like that. And then that wouldn't work. And then I was like, okay, well, let me try another business development video, right? And so for certain topics that worked really well for me, like for example, SaaS sales, tech sales, elevator pitch. And when I find something works, I find ways to do variations of it to go deeper into that topic or to find a different perspective of that topic. If it worked in one area, chances are it's going to work again because it's a very similar video, but just coming at a different angle, right? So if you're like a gamer, for example, and Fortnite videos are working really well for you, then do another Fortnite video. There's so many different ways to go depending on what niche you're in. But when you see something working, double down, right? And so for me, what I like to do is I look at my YouTube analytics, see what videos got the most views over the last month. And so when I'm filming videos like this, I'll look at, okay, well, this month, these type of videos work really well. How can I do it differently? Do a different spin, a different angle so that, people don't get bored of that topic, but they're looking at it from a different lens and maybe they'll learn something new. So double down on the things that work for you. So with that said, that's everything that we have to cover for this video. If you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you want to check out my masterclass Sales Legacy, check it out. We have a free training that will teach you everything you need to know about sales. And I will see you in the next one.